The movie came out. It's a box office disgrace. Now let them know who did it and why while looking incredibly fashionable with this The Fandom Menace t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Also, let's bring some discipline back to the sci-fi genre with Go Get Daddy's Belt. Another great t-shirt for Father's Day. Order yours today. The link is in the description below. And we thank you very much. These are great shirts. Everyone loves them. They will turn heads wherever you go. Thanks. It's almost fun to watch them dance around the obvious answer. Almost. Thank you. Thanks very much. Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I am a comic book artist. I am the creator of Cyberfrog. The Indiegogo just launched yesterday. It's doing really, really well. The link is in the description. You can back the Indiegogo and buy a signed copy of Cyberfrog at the same time. That would be really, really helpful. I'm also the illustrator of Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. I hope you did read that book. It was really, really pretty good. 1 million copies sold so far, plus. And I am also a great big Star Wars fan, which is why I wake up in the morning and look at the Star Wars news and just shake my head. But you know what? Mostly it's because of Screen Rant and MovieWeb. These sites at this point, I'm pretty sure, exist entirely to troll this audience and me. Now, Screen Rant has not made itself as known. Obviously, as MovieWeb has. MovieWeb is actually trolling the comments section now, which I think is of this YouTube channel, which I think is pretty amazing. Screen Rant hasn't done that yet. They're not that desperate, but they're still saying things just to make me shake my head. They just want to make their Uncle Ethan shake his head like this. You can't see it, but right now, I'm shaking my head. Look at this. Star Wars, or Solo, a Star Wars story's ending explained. Real quick. They spent way too much money hiring incompetent people, hired the wrong actor, got created L332 or L337, and then they fired and murdered the original 2 directors, allegedly. Hired Ron Howard. He came in and he spent a bunch more money. They released it to a lukewarm box office who didn't really care, and it flopped. The end. Explained. I did it real quick. You don't really have to click on that link if you don't want to. By the way, look at this down here. Casting the Sinister Six for the MCU. Dong Lover? Is that Dong Lover? Oh my god. Is Dong Lover going to be in the MCU? Oh, I hope so. Oh my god, please let him be in the Sinister Six. That would be fantastic. We'll become a Spider-Man channel for a little while, if that's the case. I want to follow Dong Lover's career. He's got charisma. Look at this. Star Wars trying to move to 2 movies a year is a mistake. And then, that's a shocking headline. The excuses will never end with these people. They will never just face reality that you can never have too many ice cream cones in a week. You can sell 20 ice cream cones a week to the same person if the ice cream's really good. You cannot sell the same ice cream cone twice in a week if the ice cream sucks. You cannot sell these 2 movies in a year. You can't. You could sell 2 Star Wars movies in a year. In fact, it is my opinion that if you release the original trilogy, brand new, okay, nobody's seen it before. If you had released the original trilogy all in the same year, they would have done just as well in the box office than they did back in the 70s and 80s, just as well. Why? Because they were good. And it's not like people are going to run out of money to see movies. People do go to see movies. People watch TV shows. People watch shows on HBO. And they return every single week. Nobody said, trying to do 13 episodes of The Sopranos in 1 year was too much. It was a mistake. People got burned out on The Sopranos. People got burned out on The X-Files. People got burned out on what's another show? What's popular right now? I don't watch TV. Is there something that's big? I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. There is no limit. We want more and more and more. Now, if I'd seen Empire Strikes Back, I would have wanted to see the Return of the Jedi the next day, if possible. Give it to us. The American people have human beings have an insatiable appetite for good stories. and they want them right away. Now, people who walked out of the Avengers Infinity War movie, having seen that incredibly shocking and depressing twist ending, couldn't believe that they had to wait. Couldn't believe they had to wait another, 2 years to get the sequel? That is correct. Had you said, hey, in the theater right next door, give me another $20, you can see part 2. I would say 80% of that audience would have gone straight into that next theater. The other 20% would have come back the next day. There is no limit. However, when you offer them these 2 Star Wars movies in a year, that is a mistake. This was an atrocity. This was a hate crime. And this was just sad. This was just sad. These 2 movies together equal depression. These 2 movies, one after another, they don't spell fatigue as much as they spell people questioning Disney for a sinister motive. People wondering about incompetence. That's what this spells. There is no end. And I think most Star Wars fans will agree with me. In fact, I think most people will agree with me that as long as it's good, the more Star Wars, the better. Yeah. The latest. Oh, this is written by Zach Wojnar. I don't know Zach. We kind of collect these writers. They recur. We do have our favorite Screen Rant writers. We do have our favorite movie web writers. And then just recently, we started to take notice of Scott Mendelson over at Forbes as one of the biggest trolls in Star Wars and the Star Wars media. He is hilarious. I think I've never seen anyone write such a ridiculous article and just infuriate the world, and then just have a picture of yourself looking extremely smug, like a little in his byline, little picture of himself looking like a little gremlin. Anyway, the latest Star Wars film. Ron Howard directed Solo, A Star Wars Story, opened to surprisingly tepid box office response. Zach, it wasn't surprising. We told you it was going to happen all along. That's what we do here on Comic Artist Pro Secrets. We kind of inform you about what's going on. So, I mean, if you had known, if you had been watching this show, you would have known it was going to be unsurprisingly tepid. In fact, I've used the word tepid a few times in describing what was going to happen to Solo, A Star Wars Story, and also the critics' response. I called tepid. At least by blockbuster standards, suggesting it might be a mistake for Star Wars to release more than one film a year. Yeah, there are a number of factors which may be to blame for the film's soft launch, and there aren't. You're going to get them all wrong. You're going to get them all wrong. From the casting of one of the most iconic characters ever put on the recasting, a silver screen, to the highly publicized behind-the-scenes drama involving the firing of the film's original directors to Solo's comparatively freewheeling, low-stakes action when compared to the immediate doomsday threats of Rogue One's Death Star or the Starkiller base from Force Awakens. Actually, those are all pretty close. Those are actually pretty close to the mark. Really, the truth is, the casting was bad. But you know what? We wouldn't have known how bad the casting was until we actually went to see the movie. People would have gotten suckered into seeing this movie were it not for leaks coming from Lucasfilm, coming from within the movie production itself, telling us that Alden Third Ehrenreich, by the way, I call him Alden Third Ehrenreich because he famously came out, about a month ago, and revealed that this would be a trilogy. There would be 3 solo movies starring himself, Alden Ehrenreich. So I thought, we must stop the third Ehrenreich from ever happening. A few people were like, what, I missed that. When you jump on board the Comic Artist Pro Secrets train, some of these kind of recurring jokes might go over your head. You do have to kind of, I'll explain. I'll get you guys caught up. One of the most, so the main reason, honestly, you want to be truthful. The main reason, is the incredibly terrible trailers. The weirdness of saying that Lando Calrissian is a pansexual, forcing Americans to scratch their heads. Most people don't know what hipster, fake sexual terms like pansexual even mean. Most of us don't know what they mean. What they actually do mean is that if you believe what pansexual means, let your Uncle Ethan tell you kids. Pansexual essentially means if you buy into the notion that there are 67 different genders, it means that you're cool with any of them. So it's not just that you're gay or bisexual or it's not just about that. It's not about the binary. It's about the wide variety. If you're these people who call themselves pixies and furries and all, you're cool with any of that. You look at the heart. So essentially, it means bisexual. But we won't argue with these people. However, the weirdness of this term being mixed, and by the writer, the screenwriter, who said he wanted to have like more LGBT representation in Star Wars. This is what is so amazing about this. This guy, John Kasdan, son of the great Lawrence Kasdan, decided to spill his guts that he wanted more LGBTQ plus representation in Star Wars. He thought that would be a good thing. So what he decided to do was suggest that Lando Calrissian was pansexual, which is a very earthly term. It's very modern. It's very current year, and most people don't know what it means. And then he went on to imply that it meant that Lando Calrissian, played by the great Dong Lover, was attracted to his droids and the aliens around him, which immediately put it in people's minds. Rightly so. Okay, rightly so. You cannot blame people for being confused. Not everyone does the research that your Uncle Ethan does. That's why I'm here. That pansexual might also include children, animals. Sticking it in your toaster, wherever. That is what John Kasdan, LGBTQ plus advocate, put into the bloodstream of the American people, of the world. Actually, I keep saying the American people of the world, and all of them were grossed out, and none of them went to see this movie. That is pretty much what happened. Star Wars is, no matter what you say, no matter what these people think or are trying to make it, Star Wars is a family-friendly franchise. People want to bring their kids, because people my age and older who saw this movie when they were kids, it actually left a lasting impression. Try to count on your fingers the number of movies that you saw that when you were a child that left a lasting impression with you way up until adulthood. There are very, very few. Star Wars was one of them. So people like me want to bring their kids and just see if it has the same impact. Just share with our children the same nourishment that we got when we saw A New Hope back in 1977, or Empire Strikes Back, or even this younger generation who are now old enough to have young children of their own. The prequels, those guys, they got the same kind of feels from the prequels that we got from the original trilogy. They're raising kids. They want to bring their kids to these. In the meantime, Disney wants to offer them a crash course on pansexuality that seems bizarre and possibly illegal. So, yeah, that is why. That is one of the main reasons why. Not because of the plot. The plot was fine. It was full of a lot of weird, embarrassing things, but it was fine. The threat was fine. It was whatever. It was because of the strange SJW politics of the people at Lucasfilm and the people that Lucasfilm employs. That is the issue. Cut that out. It'll go a long way. Stop hiring people that insult the fan base. That'll go a long way. Hell, have a look at my little comic book Cyberfrog. Have a look at the Indiegogo right now. I've made it my mission to be inclusive and kind to my fans. That is the end result on a smaller scale. Okay, just tack like 3 zeros onto the end of that, and that is what could come your way if you change your ways. Kathy Kennedy. One of the most often cited issues with the film is its release date on Memorial Day weekend. I honestly don't get that. Solo is the 4th Star Wars film since the franchise, and the rest of Lucasfilm was acquired by Disney, but it's not the first. It's the first entry not to release in the month of December. The film's proximity to the somewhat divisive Last Jedi, very divisive. Normal people hate the Last Jedi, hate it. That is fine. I mean, that's just not. This isn't a matter of fan extremists. Normal people hate Last Jedi. I'm not saying that you're abnormal if you like Last Jedi. I'm just saying most people who hate Last Jedi are perfectly normal, functional people, have families. They just found it stupid. They found it pointless and insulting, and they think Rian Johnson has a head like a perfect sphere, and he looks like Globey from Pee-wee's Playhouse with a goatee, and he needs to go fuck himself. Yeah, especially considering how Rian Johnson's game-changing blockbuster continues to dominate any Star Wars conversation, even 5 months on from release. Yeah, with hate. People hate it. Why did Disney opt to release Solo in May, hot on the heels of Avengers Infinity War, Deadpool 2, not waiting until December? The Christmas holiday season is proven territory for the franchise and its modern incarnation, although it's worth noting, back in the old days, the original 6 movies each made their debut in May. How interesting. It's likely that Disney was testing the waters of releasing what it has. It has no relationship. The miserable failure of this film has nothing to do with the fact that it was released in the lovely month of May, over Memorial Day weekend when everybody's home from work trying to find something to do. You go to a barbecue, you invite your friends over, you go take your kids to a movie. That's what people do on Memorial Day. You can release a Star Wars film anytime. Anytime people are going to go see it. This would have made a terrible Christmas present, by the way. I'm glad they didn't release it in December. And had they released it in December, it would have been an even bigger bomb. It would have been a bigger disaster. It would have been overshadowed by everything else that comes out in December, and this movie would have been embarrassingly vanished into the ether. Unfortunately, Solo's box office can be seen as evidence which suggests Star Wars trying to move to 2 movies a year is a mistake. Wrong. And again, if that is the case, why are you guys planning on producing a weekly TV show? That seems to be that. If there is such a thing as Star Wars fatigue, that's it. That's going to kill it right there. You want to put a Star Wars TV show on the air, you're going to bore everybody. Everybody's bored of Star Wars. Guys, just do quality films. And we will come out and see them. Screen Rant. I'm talking to you now. Stop making excuses for this movie. It's going to make you look stupid at the end of the day. When they put out a good movie, people will go see it. You'll know it was a good movie. If this was a good movie, it would have done fine. It's not a good movie. There are people who are watching it who are saying, I liked it. Well, yeah, about half of the people who go to see this movie like it. That's fine. The other half hate it, and even more than that, are staying home. That just based on the trailer, they're staying home. So let's just kind of, you know what, Screen Rant, why don't you join with Comic Artist Pro Secrets? Movie Web, I can't count on you. You're kind of the giggling, silly animal sitting in the corner, just trying to troll. So I'm not going to talk to Movie Web. Movie Web, be Alan Orange, do your thing. Kevin, whatever your name is. Berwick, I think. Berwick. But yeah, Screen Rant, listen. Sometimes you write good articles. Don't do this. You're steering them in the wrong direction. Just tell them to fire Kathleen Kennedy, or don't let Rian Johnson make another trilogy. Get him out of here Get him out of here. And then also Pablo Hidalgo. Get him out of here. Get all these people, get these poisonous, toxic, stupid people out of here. And let's bring in some competent, talented directors. I am excited about James Mangold for Boba Fett. That's the direction that we do need to go in. As long as I want to talk to James Mangold and make sure that he actually takes this seriously, and this isn't just a paycheck for him. If he can make this into art, we're going in the right direction. Hello, potential Indiegogo backers. Hello, friends. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I'm a comic book creator who worked for 20 years for Marvel and DC Comics on books like Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Batman, and X-Men. But before that, I had a comic book called Cyberfrog. Now, Cyberfrog lasted from 1993 to 1998, and then it stopped when I went to go work for DC Comics. Now I want to tell the story of where Cyberfrog has been for the last 20 years. I want to write, pencil, ink a book called Cyberfrog Blood Honey that tells the story of gigantic alien hornets that come to Earth and conquer it, sending Cyberfrog into deep hibernation, where he emerges now in the year 2018 into a completely alternate reality, a new world where these hornets have taken over, devastated humanity, using human skin to make gigantic wasp hives, and harvesting human blood to make honey to feed their young. Very few humans still exist. But it's up to Cyberfrog to save what's left of humanity and turn back the damage that's been done by these wasps with his brother Salamandroid and his friend Heather Swain. I want you to help me do this. We're going to get colors by Kyle Ritter. He's a fantastic colorist, and he's going to make this book sing. I'd like this to be a 48-page one-shot prestige format, part 1 of 4. So I'm asking you to help me launch the very first Cyberfrog Blood Honey epic graphic novel. Are you in? Will you help me? I hope so. Let's get this frog jumping again. Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there. Hey, so I want to send a thank you out to everyone who's been so supportive of this channel. Whether you like a video or share it, subscribe to this channel. By the way, make sure you're still subscribed, please. YouTube keeps kind of unsubscribing people without their permission. It's very peculiar. Hit that bell for notifications. I want to thank everyone who has backed the Patreon. That has been very helpful. And those who donate so generously to my live chats through the Super Chat. Do appreciate your attendance, appreciate all of the talking up, everything that you guys have done. This channel just could not exist without you. I'm going to continue to do it. Let's continue to fight the good fight. And, man, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.